Hello there. So Easter. Yeah, I love Easter. It's just such a shame that not everybody can enjoy chocolates. So I'm going to start off today with making daffodils. I love making daffodils. I think they're so cute and they're quite easy as well. So I'm lucky enough to have some leftover felt that's red and green from Christmas. And I've bought a little pack as well of felt. And of course I've got some daffodils that have decided to come out for you just as a guide. So what I'm doing here is I'm just literally cutting out a couple of leaves. They don't need to be accurate at all because they're not on daffodils, are they? And a stem. I'm going to put them to one side. I have some craft glue. Now, craft glue is great if you've got time to let it dry. Okay, my personality type, no, it doesn't have time to dry. I'm going to fold this over just to make life easier for myself. So I need 5 layers for the petals because they always have 5, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, for those that, if you watched my videos before, I have a permanent war about keeping my sewing scissors in my sewing room. I did go for a couple of weeks where I had wallpaper scissors because of mine had disappeared. I know, how tolerant am I? I think if I threw a fit, then it might not happen quite so frequently. So anyway, I have just cut out the 5 petals, and I am just cutting out the trumpet bit. I have no idea what it's called. And I have a pair of crimping scissors, not particularly sharp, but they are sort of standard kit for a sewing room. So if you were using glue and you were giving it time to set, then just a line along one side of it and find a way of holding that flat. But I'm not using glue because of, well, it will just be all runny for me. So 5 petals, and they have to sort of fold round the trumpet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a fan shape first of all, and I have a needle and thread here, which of course, you know, you could be doing with glue. It's just that, well, I'm going to make use of what I have. So I've just put a couple of tack stitches in there, and I may not even have caught all of the petals, you know, I hope I have. And then I'm going to take up my rolled trumpet, I'm going to place that in the centre, and then I'm going to sort of squish it down a bit. And then from the back, I'm just putting the needle through again. Okay, you see how simple this is? Now, I bought these last night. I ran down the shop, everyone else was asleep in bed, and they were like, where has she gone? And they literally have only just come out, and I thought, well, it's probably good if they don't come out because we want an artistic representation of daffodils. We don't actually want daffodils because if we've got a daffodil in front of us, we can get a bit caught up and we can try and do papery bits and all sorts of things like that. So, but they've come out, so that's all good. So this is basically my flower head. And I will just make sure everything is secure. Lovely. Maybe that glue would have been a good idea. If I just put a couple of tacks in there, then that will hold it in place. Now, I'm going to do the stems next. And the reason I'm doing them on the sewing machine is to give them a bit of rigidity, which is a lovely word. and because I don't want to put anything like wire in them or anything else like that, or any stiffening aids. What I will do is I will probably spray them with hairspray when I'm finished, and that will hold them in place and give them a bit of strength. But if I just fold this over and then run a couple of stitches, it's not got any material to grip with, so it's going to be a bit difficult to get it through the machine. But I just want a way of strengthening it without any sharp bits. So lovely. And then I have my two leaves, sorry. Oh, must learn to talk. And I'm literally, I can put them through the machine again, just to help keep them there. And there we are. So it does mean I get to get rid of all of these flaky bits. Yes. So there we have the leaves and the stem, and they are a very simple rectangle and a very simple leaf shape, teardrop shape. So before I started, because I can't thread a needle when the camera's on, I really can't. So I've got quite a large selection of needles with just tiny bits of thread in. So all I need to do now is just tack those to there. And I can do a bit of reshaping as well and make sure that it's all fanned out as I like it and everything else like that. And it's really up to me how much work I put into them. But you get the basic idea, and make sure that I've caught the back. And there we are. So, one more daffodil to the pile. Lovely. So where can I put him that you can see him? I should have brought a little vase up, shouldn't I? And there was the one I did earlier. Okay, now I've also done tulips. Now, I'm not as happy with the tulips as I am with the daffodils. I don't quite know where I've got wrong. They do seem to look better if I've just sort of trimmed them. I've trimmed the other one, even though the basic tulip flower shape is more of a bell. It just didn't seem to work quite as well for me. So I put them up there so we can see them, and I'm going to grab some red felt, and I am going to make 4 petals. So literally the tulip leaf is shaped like that. I know this. There we are. So I have my 4 petals, and I am going to trim them again at the end because I find that helps. Now you don't need to do the yellow bit in the middle, but there usually is a yellow stem, and because I have some yellow felt, I'm going to just make a little yellow stamen, yeah, something like that. Now the best way I've found to do the tulips is to lay them out like that. I'm going to put a couple of tacking stitches in there so that I've got all 4 leaves attached. I can even put this little yellow bit in there now, but this is only because I have it, you know. There's no reason to worry. There we are. And then I'm going to push them up so that we've got the tulip traditional shape. And then I'm going to sew all 4 of them, and I might even wrap the thread around so that it keeps them all nice and tight. Oops, and I stabbed myself. Okay, so there's my basic flower with my little yellow bit in the middle, and I can come back to that when I attach it to the leaves. So if I put that all there and get that out of the way, and what I need now is a nice stem, and the leaves on a tulip are broader than they are on a daffodil, and they come up a bit high. You can see almost that it's coming up to the flower. So I'm going to fold that over. I'm going to do it at the same time. I'm not worrying about wastage. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I'm making a lot bigger petals. There we are. Okay, I'll put that out of the way. Oh, I'm losing my eggs. They smell, these eggs. I can smell chocolate. There. Lovely. So I'm going to put this back under my sewing machine just so that I can just give it a bit more strength. Now, if you were going to glue everything as well as sew it, I would recommend that you don't try and glue wet cloth. I wouldn't sew wet cloth because it might end up in a disaster. Now, I have this on quite a large stitch for the reason that it's the height of the fabric, and I've just done that for a reason, because okay, so I've put the machine on quite a large stitch for the reason that it is going through quite a thick amount of cloth. Okay, and also it's going to be quite small stitches because of that, but it's going to be quite small stitches because the teeth that grab the cloth to move it are not really anywhere near. But you know, that you get used to your machine. If your machine is happy to do that, then do that. So if not, it's just, it's a time thing as well, you know. I can't expect you to sit here for 3 hours watching me hand sew a daffodil when I can literally just run along on the machine and do it. So lovely. Well, you know, I said earlier that I'd threaded loads of needles. They're all on the floor now. So who knows? Yes, get to test my skill at threading needles in camera. Because I can do it fine. I know I can do it fine when it's not filming. But yeah, it doesn't help that I'm using a yellow thread. Maybe I should have changed to a darker colour so that I could see it. Now all I need to do is I can either tack them on the sewing machine or I can tack them here. But I'm just going to tack it here. And then I can cut that off again, and then I can sew my flower head onto the stem, and I can adjust it again, you know, there's no reason why I can't. And of course I'm going to trim it again. Now where I started off with the sewing machine, it's got a little dimply bit anyway, so I'm going to make use of that. Now if you weren't making this for children, you could put wire in there to make it stronger, but I'm making it for children. So there we go. Now I have a piece of ribbon here as well, and I'm just going to use that to hold them all together.
I say that. I said that with real confidence, didn't I? It's because I know I've got loads of pieces of ribbon here. Now, of course, you can make this in nice festive colours, or you can just use what you have. So there we go. Pick these all up. And one's a bit taller. And there we are. I'm just going to wrap the ribbon round, keeping it nice and tight. I want it nice and rustic. And there we have our little bouquet of felt flowers. Alright, well, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure to do these little videos, and hopefully I'll see you again. Thank you ever so much, and happy Easter. Oh yes, I forgot about that. More worried about the chocolates, wasn't I? Well, such is life.